For Best Music Coach, my name is Dan, and you are watching a music teacher's reaction live in real time to the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 original soundtrack. Now, I've never heard this music before in my life. Never once, ever, never. And everything I do say and talk about is going to be off the top of my head in the moment. We are officially live, rock and rolling. Hey, chat, how's it going? Let's do this thing. Because you know, it don't mean a thing unless it ain't got that swing shoo-op, 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 shoo-da-wah-da-wah with Counterattack. Ha! Ooh, interesting bridge section here. That bass right there is quoting from the main theme. We hear that fifth we talked about in part 2. so many parts from different songs. Even right there at the end of the piano going ba 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 ba. Like we heard that a ton of stuff in disc 1. One thing I wanted to point out here. Right there. Ba ba ba. That is from the main melody. So you can hear that even in these small moments, like even where the bass is taking a solo, in the middle of all this just fantastically juicy, just goodness, and we have this little bridge section here, we're always pulling back to things that happened before, cross-referencing all the themes with motifs and, well, so many different cool things just like that. So even in this entire song, just pulling those two pieces out, the piano at the end going ba 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 or ba ba ba, whatever it was, and then here the bass also it's like giving callbacks to things that have happened before. One of the beautiful, amazing things about, you can hear it in film, and then also, of course, in the video game music genre. In the video game music genre, you can hear all these cool things where you get these ideas pulled back again to represent generally a person, place, or thing. And anytime there's a person, place, or thing represented with a piece of music, that's going to be a leitmotif. This next one is called You Will Recall Our Names. Check it out. Ah, there we go. So in part 2, we talked a little bit about call and response. Listen to this call get echoed between 3 different instrument groups. Check this out. So we hear ba-ba-do-ba-do-dum, ba-ba-do-da-do-dum, ba-ba-do-da-do-dum, and we hear it first from the guitar. Oops, first from the guitar. There it comes. So that's the first, that's the guitar. Now, the next one, an echo of that. That's in the violins. Next, in the brass. So that's just a really cool thing of taking that one little idea. Found it. Just going back and forth between just that one idea, between all those different instruments. Now, there's one more thing I want to point out too. All right, right here. All right, check this out. All right, I really hope you have headphones on because I'm going to be talking about what's going on in different ears. Listen in your right ear for that sound. There it comes. And then that guitar, okay, so number one, the guitar player is insane because they went straight at that. Perhaps there's an edit there, perhaps there wasn't, and they went straight to the next part, which was good playing, good reading, good ears. But I think what's really cool here is just to think about how you have this riff going on here and then the counterpoint to the riff. What's sort of holding the balance on the other side in the right ear is this just sort of guitar. Say it might be a chord just with so much distortion on it that I can't actually tell that there's a pitch there. But it also might just be a guitar player just hitting their strings with a ton of distortion on it. Here it is again. So some really cool things going on in this here tune. This next one is called Desolation. Oh, sorry. I had one more thing I wanted to say. In You Will Recall Our Names, we actually hear, so in Counterattack, twice or thrice, we hear a sus4 that either then goes to a power chord with no third in it, so it doesn't really resolve, right? Well, I mean, it technically does resolve, like the fourth doesn't resolve to a 3. And then the second time in Counterattack, we heard the sus4 go nowhere, just transition to like a different section. Finally, in Recall Our Names, we hear that big sus4 resolve down to that third to give us that major chord. So that was an interesting thing that if you look at, I don't know if in the game Counterattack and You Will Recall Our Names play together, but if so, it's very interesting that it's almost like 2 sections of an idea or an idea being passed between 2 songs, that it finally resolves in You Will Recall Our Names. All right, Desolation, we're going to start again from the beginning. Here we go. So we hear that ma ba ba, quoting from the main theme. Or perhaps a different theme that's just pulling motifs and ideas from the main theme. No. Oh yeah, beautiful. Bring it. There you go. that bass mixed in there, cello, is so tasteful. It's like just in there, just giving a little support. All right, check this out here. There's a very interesting thing that happened that you may have missed. Good ears if you didn't. Let's check this out. Listen to this. Oh my gosh, a little scale on the strings. Oh! It's so delicious. It's mixed way back in there. But this is just one example of the complexity of the arranging and the care and the love that has gone into this soundtrack. Let's listen to it one more time because it's such an incredible moment. Check this out. Here it is. Yabba yabba da ba da ba, yabba da ba da ba da da, and then it comes up right at the end. Beautiful, absolutely amazing. Yeah, and the mix, Eli Turp, exactly, mixed really well. The fact that all these arrangements that even when they get very complex, we can hear everything that's going on, and that does come down to, yeah. Mixing, definitely. Mastering, definitely. Could also just be, you know, sometimes really smart composers, like people like Chris Christodoulou, think ahead of time for how the mix is going to sound, and they don't just put things down. He's almost like pre-mixing as he creates. And so sometimes you can also just get composers, again, like Chris, who are just really smart, thinking ahead to the next step and setting themselves up, or whoever's going to mix up for success. But obviously Chris does his own mixing and mastering, and props to him. Okay, this next one is called Contrition. Ooh. Oh. Sounds like some reverse sounds mixed in here. That music was very, very emotional, very moving. Yeah. Beautiful. Let's listen to one thing on this. Now, I'm not 100% sure what is happening right at this moment, but it's either that the reverb that's being used on the bass, it just has an extra little effect on it, or like it's a really, really long, or they have like a secondary long reverb that's just creating that sound. Sometimes when you have really long reverbs, it almost doesn't really carry the pitch anymore. It just sounds like space. So it's either that, or there's actually wind or air sound happening right at this moment. And if you listen very carefully, you can hear it's like, hear that? It's like atmospheric. Yes, it sounds like air, it sounds like wind. Is anything happening in the game at this point with wind or air or anything like that? Waiting for chat. Okay, chat's talking about other things. Okay, we're gonna move forward. All right, this next one is called War and Peace. Let's rock and roll. It is relevant to the game, not to my memory. Gestures at the main theme. Oh, major third there. Alright, chat, now I do have a question as this song fades out. Is there a connection between Counterattack, You Will Recall Our Names, and War and Peace in the game? Because I'm telling you, it's basically kind of like, and this is a very generalization. Before anyone tries to take me to task in the comments, I'm being general. But is there like basically Counterattack? You'll recall our names. War and Peace have a lot of similarities to them, and sure, we've heard those chord progressions other times in the past. But I'm just wondering if there's a connection between those 3 songs. The other 2, only one scene. There's no connection that you can think of. This is a random menu with no connection. All right, well, it's inspired by it, at least. An interesting piece. This next one is called... And, okay, let me break down for you some of the reasons why I asked that question. How about that? Right, so basically what we have here is a flat 6, flat 7 to a 1 that's kind of a sus4 progression here. And you can actually hear the same idea, and you'll recall... Yeah, kind of. Right. Right, so we have flat 6, 7 to 1. Right, to 1, sus4, and there, we get the resolution to the 3rd. We can also hear the same idea in Counterattack. Somewhere. Find it. Right. I was slightly different there. Yeah. I mean, there's chords that can come before it, but sure, you still have the flat 6, flat 7 to sus4. Interesting that between War and Peace, You'll Recall Names, and Counterattack, we have this similar idea. The next one is called Driver Verse. Wasn't that synth just shredding in the background? Oh, that's sick. So that's really fast, and I have an acoustic guitar. So I'm not going to try and demonstrate that on guitar, but what the guitar is doing is something called tapping. And which, you know, you hear that in the background with that synth right here? It's kind of buzzy. Listen for it. Now listen for the really buzzy bass. So it sounds like someone's going. Seriously, hear me out. I'm not going crazy. Listen for that sound in here. It's wild. There it is. Oh gosh. What lovely, lovely techno sounds being mixed in. And I think what's been cool is when the techno sounds are mixed in, at least so far in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's kind of minimal. It's kind of on the outside. It's not taking front and center, but it's in there giving a different feeling, a different element than just a straight rock track. As you can hear when you have... I'm going to spare you me making all those sounds again. Right there. Fantastic. Okay. This next one is called Alba Cavanich. Alba Cavanich. It's funny how some of these towns seem to have a first name and last name. I'm gonna put that out there. Unless we're visiting someone named Alba Cavanich at daytime and nighttime, which I don't think we are. It's probably a town or place. I don't like, you know, like Care, right? For like a castle, like the sort of Gaelic thing. I don't know. Come on, guitar. Well, let's listen to the night one, and then I'll compare the two. Actually, no, I have one thing to say. Right there. Ba, 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 ba. And the flutes. What that makes me think of like Peruvian panpipes. That makes me think of. That's that sort of sound, that sort of. Those might have been, man. I don't think those pan. I think those are flutes. But the way that they're playing made me think of Peruvian panpipes. So we'll see. Is Alba and then I might be wrong here, but is Alba Cavanich in the mountains? If it is, that would be a connection. This one is called Alba Cavanich Night. This sounds like a dulcimer, maybe? Hammered dulcimer? Wasteland, okay, not a mountain. Eli, that's not a harpsichord, that's a hammered dulcimer. I think. There's one other instrument it could be. Possibly a zither, which is technically a kind of dulcimer, I think. Yeah, definitely hammered dulcimer. Played with the wooden ends as opposed to felted. Sometimes it's felt on the strikers. So an interesting piece of music, both the Alba Cavanich and the Alba Cavanich Night. I think the Alba Cavanich Night I found to be particularly intriguing because of the use of, like, you just hear these instruments at the end. Now, forget about what instruments are playing. Just listen to the quality of the sound. Like kind of bright, kind of brilliant, kind of shiny, but also has this like cozy feeling, like it is nighttime, right? We can hear those same instruments on display at the beginning, too. Yeah. And it sounds to me either like there's one dulcimer or there's either one dulcimer with an effect on it, like a delay effect on it, and then also some it's panned differently, or there's someone did multiple passes and then they just mixed it differently. Really interesting sounds. beautiful pieces of music, completely different from anything we've heard before. Again, using instruments we have not heard before previously on this soundtrack, which is part of what gives it such a unique feeling. And obviously a great tool for composers to use to differentiate geographical locations. Use different instruments because things sound very different. You could play the same thing on different instruments, like ba ba ba. Like that sound completely different, right? Ba ba ba. One's a voice, one's a piano, playing the same exact thing, but sounds totally, fundamentally different. And that's because of something called timbre, or timbre, and it's spelled T-I-M-B-R-E. And timbre is the quality of a sound. It's how something sounds, and that's how you can actually hear the difference between different instruments. This next one is called running. Okay, number one, I dug the heck out of that. I want to point one thing out here. Okay, so we have this ascending bass line going ba 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 ba, and we get that that tritone, or that blues note, if you will, though to call it a blues note is a bit of a misnomer because blues note is more of an expression than an actual solid tone. But anyway, let's listen to this, because this ascending bass line actually changes the next time it comes around. So let's check it out. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, maybe it's actually the same. It just sticks out the first time around. No, it is. Okay. It does stay the same. That so it is actually a blues note because like it's real and it's an expression. All right. What do I mean by blues note? Let's break that down. So there's a scale called the pentatonic scale, and it sounds something like this. We play it for another octave. Now the blues note, there's many blues notes, but the main blues note people think about when they talk about the blues note is going to be this sharp 5. Flat 5 or a sharp 4, also known as diminished 5th or augmented 4th if we're using correct music theory terminology. But check this out. So really the note is this. And so if I add in the blues note, here's without the blues note, with blues note. Now here's the thing, that blues note being played like that really was not a thing until like rock, and not even rock and roll, but like rock. And like shredders incorporating that into scales. I mean, you can hear it other times, like broadly speaking. Because here's the thing, when blues players, like you go back, you listen to old blues players, you listen to Robert Johnson, you listen to Lead Belly Blues, Birth of Country, listen to, I mean, anyone, the Kings, B.B. King, Freddie King. The way they'll play this note is they don't actually play it, they gesture at it with a microtonal expression, which means they're not actually playing this exact note, but they're playing something around that note. Sometimes they go to it, sometimes they go past it, sometimes they don't quite go to it. And so it's interesting to hear and understand that blues note, even though people call it the blues note, it's not a blues note, because a blues note truly is a microtonal expression that is not actually a fixed note. It's an expression, and it really comes from, if we're really talking blues music specifically, and there's multiple, right? Because you can hear B.B. King, he'll bend the minor third up to get close to the major third, or he'll go past the major third, right? There isn't one specific blue note. There's multiple blues notes, but it's always consistently going to be that microtonal expression. So whenever we talk about blues note, just understand, even though in some music theory circles that's going to be a specific note, I really disagree with that. I think it's more of a microtonal expression around and in the area of that note. This next one is called Mor Ardain. Got it on the third try. Let's listen to Mor Ardain. Huh. one of my favorite songs so far. Easily. Pieces. Right here. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm not sure if this is a mistake and made it past the editors or if this was intentional. But you can hear there's a little extra brass note in there, all the way in your right ear, all the way back in the corner. It's very quiet. Right there. Da ba da 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 ba. You guys hear that? Da ba da 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 ba. And there's one person, there's one instrument that goes bop right there. Type a 1 in the chat if you could hear that one person do the little bop. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay. All right, a lot of people can hear it. Yeah, if you can't hear it, go back and listen to it. Wouldn't say it's a mistake. I don't know. I'm not saying it is a mistake. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's interesting that it's only one instrument playing right there in what sounds like is supposed to be a silence. I disagree, Suhi. I think that's supposed to be a break there. Da ba da 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 bum ba ba da ba da 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 bum bum ba ba da 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 ba bum bum ba ba. I think there's supposed to be a space there. Yeah, one straight pixel in the Super Mario world. Like exactly. Right? It's like the one... Yeah, it sounds like it's supposed to be... Eli, I agree with Eli that it sounds like it's supposed to be a break and there's one little note in there. But guys, let's appreciate something here. We're on disc 3 of an intensely complex soundtrack. Like, and this is the only... nitpicking. This is the only thing we found to nitpick. Wild. Oh, someone asked a good question. Is it repeat out the song? I don't know. Let's see if we have that moment. Oh no, it's there too. Well, it's there twice. Well, who knows? Okay, that's fun. All right, this next one is called Mor Ardain Night. Every time I hear that, I would think having the time of your... Cause in this thriller night Ah. Man, I'm hearing ABBA. I'm hearing Michael Jackson. I'm hearing Toto. And I'll show you guys what I mean. Alright, check this out. Goes in. Look. And that's just rhythmically. But here, check this out. We're at the end here. Da 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 shaka ba back to ba shaka ba da. Yeah, okay. All right, Toto, Africa, and then I had one more, which was ABBA. Having the time of your life. Just random things that come up in my mind, but I wanted to share those with you so you understood why I was grinning and laughing while I was listening to that. It's not a quote, it's just rhythms and series of pitches that line up and spark little connections. This next one is called Eye of Shining Justice. Okay, clearly something humorous is happening during this song. I'd love to know what kind of... There's a juxtaposition of something, or something humorous, or something like topsy-turvy going on in this song. What's going on in this song, folks? A turtle is... okay. Team Rocket. Okay, got it. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. All right, this next one is called Bringer of Chaos Ultimate. So everything from the melody lines to the harmonies to the choices of notes being used sounds completely disjointed and indeed chaotic. Like, this melody almost feels like it doesn't belong here. It sounds so off kilter. It sounds so odd. Wow. So, yes, having this song be called Bringer of Chaos. All right, now, perhaps I should explain what I mean by that. Let's get some context, shall we? Okay, so look, a song in the C minor, and we're going. Kind of made up the last bit a little bit, but look, the point is. Like, you're going to the essentially flat two. So guys, look, it's basically like, look, okay, what would make more sense is over the C minor. Sense is subjective, okay? What would be a more direct scale to harmony correlation would be but instead, it's like taking a G minor. Because look, here, I'm gonna play the same melody. Now, if I put that over G minor, it makes a little bit more sense. So it's just almost like this G melody juxtaposed over this C minor chord, and that's part of what makes it sound so chaotic. The next one is the Song of Giga Rosa. Let's check it out. Huh. Can I just say this is my favorite part of the song? Like, what? See, well, no, it won't let me run 5 seconds. All right, here. Like, what the heck? It's so funny. And then, all right, the next part that's humorous about this too. Sure, yeah, that. But even right there, that boom. Yeah, if you catch it. Right there. Even that timpani at the end. So clearly, some kind of shenanigans going on here, but a ton of fun. This next one is called Jump Towards the Morning Sun. Let's check it out. Okay. Right there. Okay, so in part 2 of this, we talked about how we had this C major chord, and then we left the C, sorry. A little out of tune today. We had this. Oh, okay. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it alone. We had the C major chord, and then we left C on the bass, and we went to a D up top. Now, what we had right here is a little different. We had the 2 in the bass. It's a nice funky chord where you take a G, like you put an A in the bass. Which makes for a really interesting thing that where it's not exactly a 5 chord, it kind of pushes you in a little different direction of a 5 chord, almost feels softer. And you can even hear here as well, they're hanging out around this 5 chord for quite some time. And it's just like a way of extending this area. Like all this here is 5. Right, and then right there, ba 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 ba, and then when it goes to the ba, wait, hang on, was that an F in the bass? Ba, 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 ba. No. Okay, but then you hear basically that the 5 chord here is just being extended over this long period of time. And then right there, the last But this is when it goes to a straight 5 chord, straight major triad there. No 7th, it doesn't sound like to me. So it's just different ways of extending the area of essentially the dominant. This next one is called Leftherian Archipelago. We have a flat 6, flat 7, a major one here. So I think what's been interesting to see is that throughout the soundtrack, we're probably going to hear it again in the night, but we have this chord progression here, and we actually had it in a couple different keys. First we had it, I believe, as... And then right at the end we had... That's guitar's actually, I'm just going to play the piano. So we had... Which is really interesting, because normally, when you hear this progression, you'd hear it sound something like this. Yeah, it's kind of sad at the end. That's pretty sad. One more time. It's going to sound sad at the end. Sad. But now, this time it's going to sound happy at the end. Check this out. Oh! The only pop song I think that kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more getting you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the rain, baby. Right? So, not a lot of pop songs use that chord progression, but having that pretty major chord right at the end is it's an interesting, different taste to it. And again, "Kiss from a Rose" I think is the only pop song I can think of that does that. And you can hear that in tons of other places. Yeah, let's check out Leftherian Archipelago Night. Ooh. Sounds like maybe a bass clarinet in there. Interesting sound. So we've been talking a little bit about call and response. Check out this call and response. So look, the piano goes first and then the flute responds along with the glockenspiel, sounds like. So piano goes da bu bu gu ga, flute responds da gu bu gu ga. Here we go. That was the piano. Here's the flute. And we keep it going. It's a piano call. That was the piano. Here's the flute. Here's piano again. Piano, flute responds. One more. Here's piano. Ya ba da gu ba. So you know the flute's not responding with the same notes, but it's responding with the same gestures and the same rhythms. This next one is called Gramps. Very Irish. Very Irish. That choir really reminds me of The Lion King. Now, I may be losing my mind, but I don't think so. There may be a connection between Gramps and Leftherian Archipelago, and the transition, actually. Check this out. Right there. So is that minor to major? So we essentially have a minor chord, and then we just change it to major. Check this out. Minor, major, and right at the end, a Leftherian Archipelago Night, we actually hear the same idea, which I thought was odd when I heard it. Well, let's go check that out. Let's see if I can find it. Come on. We'll find it. We'll find it. We'll find it. Oh, something crazy. Okay. It didn't go major. It went minor sus4. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so not a direct connection as I thought. I was off by 1/2 step, as can happen, but a pretty interesting connection either way, that both of these had this sort of thing where even and the reason why I was getting confused is because in Leftherian Archipelago it keeps on going up to that major thing, right? And in Gramps it kept on going up to a major thing too, and then it went minor to major. I was like, wait, hang on, didn't we hear something like that before? I don't know if we heard something like it, but not exactly like it. This next one is called Gramps Night. Check out this incredible interplay. Between the harp and the piano. One more time. This is genius. One more time. So you can hear it's like where one pauses, the other one fills in. Sometimes they fill together. And together they create this momentum, this feeling, this dynamism between the two. You hear the piano each one fills in around the other, and the times when they connect up just create so much more like energy. A really interesting way of presenting this musical idea with those two particular instruments going back and forth. Not something you hear every day. This next one is called "A Place in the Sun." First of all, a completely beautiful piece. I want to point out something towards the end here. We have perpetual eighth notes. So right here, ba 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 and right at the end, it almost turned to this Alberti bass type thing. Alberti bass is like, you've heard it in classical music millions of times. Ah. Like that. Come on, left hand, let's go. Yeah, So almost turning this Alberti bass thing, and to just have consistent eighth notes being played in an instrument like that is a very interesting touch, a very interesting texture. And if you think about it, not something that I can even say we've heard up to this point in all 3 discs of the soundtrack, having something just consistently hang out on eighth notes like that. It's a very, very interesting artistic choice. It creates a very interesting feeling and sort of not quite a backdrop, because it's the main expressive element, right? Hear this piano part. Huh. So really just perpetual eighth notes there, which is super fascinating. Hey, real quick, if you're on the stream right now and you're a gamer and you want to understand more about music theory, everything we've been talking about today, basically music theory, which is understanding how music works. It's like understanding, yeah, that's it. It's understanding how music works. If you want to understand how your favorite video games work, how your favorite OSTs work, go ahead and check out, there's a pinned comment in the comments. It's the top 10 things everyone should learn about music theory. If you're a gamer, it's just for gamers. I made it for you. It's a free gift from me to you. Go ahead, click on the link, grab it. It's going to go straight to your email. Check it out. I don't run ads or anything like that. I just give you free things. So go check it out. Well, this was quite a fun double stream day. Let's read some super chats. And then we'll call it a day. We're going to go back to our favorite here. Turn the volume down a little bit. We're going to read some super chats. Okay, Rubberman 202 says again, requesting Cuphead and his DLC, The Delicious Last Course, taking baby steps to get this to the top. Hopefully more people will support it. I think they will, Rubberman. D&M says, all these donations are starting to add up, but if I can't move on to the next game quite yet, so put this towards Kingdom Hearts 2 again. You got it, D&M. Scientician says, I'm looking forward to reaction to Drifting Soul. It's my personal favorite song ever. One of the best songs in this OST. Put this donation towards a link to the past. You got it, Scientician. Thank you very much for your generous super chat there. Thank you for your support as always. Scientician goes on to say, guess I missed catching my favorite song live. That makes me sad, but it's all good. Keep adding to the link to the past now. You got it. T-Mac1313 says, can't watch right now because I can't watch right now, but I can't wait to listen to these on my drive back home after the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. This is for Sonic Adventure. You got it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat. Hang on. Oh, we should have a moment. We should have a moment. Does anyone remember how the turkey song starts? Turkey for me, turkey for you. Let only turkey in a big brown shoe. Eat that turkey at the table. I once saw a movie with Betty Grable. Yabba dabba doo and yabba dabba dibble. I wish that turkey only cost a nickel. Thanksgiving is a special time. And I'm Santa, nothing but a mind. That's right. So I don't remember any of the words. Happy Thanksgiving. Anyway, okay. T-Mac, thank you for your generous super chat there. Alexander Lawrence says, will you ever play through the Xenoblade games? I personally can't recommend them enough. Also, 5 to Xenoblade Chronicles X. You got it, 5 Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade Chronicles, yeah, I'm open to playing through them. I've got a list of games to get through, one of which is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is the one I'm currently playing through. Having a ton of fun with that. And I'm absolutely open to playing Xenoblade. Bex Lizard says, thank you for this channel and community. But crying in specific standard at these early starts. This is for Chrono Cross. You got it, Bex, for Chrono Cross. CJ, 7 months at Kazoo Club. Glad to have you, CJ. Brad Martin, thank you for your generous super chat, Brad. Brad says, I'd like to vote on Octopath Traveler with this. Thanks, you got it, Brad. Bumblebee says, I'd love to put this towards Chicory, A Colorful Tale. You got it, Bumblebee. And Pikachu, guys, we have a Pokemon in the chat. Pikachu says, Pika Pika. Pika Pika Pika. Pika Pika. Pikachu. Which translated into English means so many amazing tracks on this disc. Upvote for Sonic Adventure 2. You got it. All right, y'all. Oh, some of you want to come hang out in the Discord? All right. Don't leave. Don't leave. I'm gonna put an invitation in the chat for you can come hang out in the Discord. That way you will know if there's surprise streams and things. Let's see, how do I do this? Let's put a dancing duck. Okay. Discord. Focus, Dan. Focus. Copy link. Copy link address. There we go. I'm putting it in the thing. Okay, paste. There you go. All right. That is in the chat. Go check it out. Come hang out. Great to have you all. Have a fantastic, phenomenal rest of your day. Those Americans celebrating, happy Thanksgiving. And I'll see y'all. Peace. Bye.